get right into like healthy alternatives that I believe parents should provide for their children, or at least setting up the culture in the family. We talked about culture and how that's a big part of the factors of development. So first, I think as a parent, before you even get into anything, I believe that you should really be mindful of creating and developing the proper culture. So I think number one is develop a discipline. Develop some sort of thing in your family where it's just the unspoken rule you have to do. It can be dinner always being at this time, always being together, no phone at whatever this time is. I mean, I don't necessarily agree with that one, but I'm saying creating some kind of mutually agreed upon contract rules. This will allow for at least a healthier lifestyle. We as kids can be very annoyed by our parents when we have to eat our vegetables and stuff like that. Now that we're older, we're starting to realize why our parents were telling us to do that. Healthy. It also increases our mental health, physical health, and possibilities of success when we're developing these traits at a younger age. I would want my child to be best aligned with becoming successful and healthy in all aspects. Then another thing is being a good role model. If you are somebody who is just reckless, can't control your emotions, consumption abuse with anything, you know, it could be media. I mean, if you're a couch potato as a parent, your child's probably going to notice that and think that's fine. Same thing with alcohol consumption or drug use. This is very important though, because we also want to control emotional outbursts as best as possible in front of our young child. I'm saying this in a parent perspective now because I'm trying to connect with parents on how we can change things, you know? I'm not saying I'm a parent.
What do you mean by that?
You know what I mean. You know what I mean. Whoa.
You're right.
Another thing that we should do as parents is always show effective forms of communication. If, you know, you're not allowing, I'm going to say this for the wide array of child development stages. If you're not communicating with your kids at an effective rate as a young child, you're probably not gonna be able to do it when you're later in your later years, you know, unless significant changes happen. But kids, when we're growing up, kids have a lot that they keep in that they don't feel comfortable enough to share with their parents. They'll tell their friends, they'll tell even extended family members, neighborhood kids, whatever, because it's a little awkward, you know, sharing some stuff with your parents that you don't really feel comfortable about, you know. For instance, I'll give an example. Like a young female or male gets sexually assaulted, they don't really feel comfortable enough to talk to their parents about it first, you know. That's just like something that springs to my mind. So always making sure that family is first. That's a big one. I also think it's very important to always boost your kids' self-esteem when they do good. I don't think it should always be 24/7. Like, definitely call out your kid if they're in the wrong. For instance, if they mouth off to a teacher in school, kid's wrong, you know. Especially too if, like, I'll just give an example. Like when I was younger, I was very frustrated with my mom because whenever I'd tell her a story, my mom would never take my side. My mom would always be like, Ryan, well, think of it like this. Ryan, you know, what did you do? And it frustrated me as a kid, but now that
My mom was the exact same way, and that used to piss me off, dude.
I know. I used to be like, damn, my mom doesn't even have my back, bro. Like I was so tight, but it's very, very good because my mom would be the first one to call me out, but also the first one to uplift me when I did something right. And having that strengthens your bond between parents and children. It's important to uplift your kid, you know. If they feel like they're chasing things like for good grades and you never compliment them on their nice report card, they don't feel proud, you know. You want to make sure your kid feels proud when they do something right. And then lastly, showing unconditional love. So like what you said, Miles, that as a young man you're able to show love and still have a backbone, you know. You have a mix of both, just very, very good. Some kids though aren't even like shown unconditional love, so they don't even know how to love, and that's a very big thing, you know. Like if you have a dad who's emotionally absent, they may influence you when you grow up later to not really care to fall in love, to even give love to people in your life. Very important thing. Would you guys agree with what I'm saying?
100%. From my research that I've done, I looked at an article from UC Davis Health, which they say like positive parenting really sets up the children for success later in life. Even neuroscience has discovered that positive parenting contributes to better functioning in the brain regions associated with emotions and cognitive during their teen years, as well as Harvard scientists found that positive parenting has long-term benefits, including better relationships, mental health, and well-being during adulthood, so it even affects years beyond.
I like that. So now I want to talk about the third. I'm going to go all the way back now to John Piaget's theory of cognitive development. So now I'm going to like twist it a bit. During our concrete operational and also formal operational, this is from concrete's from 7 to 11 years, and then formal is from 12 to adulthood. But I'm going to sum both of them up in one. I would say from the ages of like 10 and beyond, we start to really get a good understanding of the world, especially when we start to have hormonal changes in our body and stuff like that in our formal operational stages of development. Then a lot comes to fruition from our early childhood years. So this is when we see a lot of people get like triggered by things that affected them as kids. When those triggers teenagers happen though, that's kind of the deciding moment of, do I either change from what I've seen or do I become what I've seen? And that's a subconscious decision those kids during that age don't have the awareness to make. So it's very important for parents to act responsibly for their kids during the sensory motor and pre-operational, or else their kid during the concrete operational, formal operational, are doomed. I mean, it's true, you know? I mean, the odds of your kid not becoming what you were as a parent are very slim, and it's very hard. They have to have a lot to go right in their exo, macro, and chrono systems. That means like the right influences around you, the right family friends, using media in a good way. It's very hard. But if you can identify that ahead of time, you're going to save a lot of pain for your child and discomfort. So it's very important to do that.
Now, I hope you enjoyed today's listen of the new episode. And again, feel free to hit that subscribe button and turn on bell notifications. Again, that is the best way to stay up to date on the Winners Club content. Of course, you can click right here. We just did a whole freestyle talking about masculinity and femininity roles. And as always, we thank you for all the love and support. And until next time.